Big up and good morning to each and every one of you. It's your boy, Mark and MUFC fan. And you know what to do. Smash the likes and subscribe, share it around. The road to 2K is here, guys. Help your boy grow. Every like counts and the early likes counts. So tune in, stay tuned. I got 10 minutes of fast-paced, informative transfers and information for you guys. Let's get right into it. I'm not going to keep you back. Let's get started. And first up, it's the Royal Antwerp goalkeeper that everyone has been interested because, you know, Man United have been thinking about getting in the market for a new goalkeeper. Well, it's not going to be for this guy in January. And the report coming in by Sacha Tavalori, is that Antwerp will not allow Sen Lamens to leave in this window. The goalkeeper, who has been impressive this season after stepping up to replace Putez, has been of interest to both Arsenal and Manchester United. However, the Premier League side will have to wait until the summer if they have a chance of signing the young Belgian goalkeeper. The 22-year-old Lamens has kept 5 clean sheets in his 20 Pro League appearances so far, saving 2 of 3 penalties that he has faced. Lamens joined Antwerp in the summer of 2023 on a free transfer from Club Brugge, where he had spent most of his time with the side's second team. He made just 4 appearances for the club before making the move to Antwerp. Last season, he played 16 times at the back end of the season after Boutez got injured. With the club deciding that Boutez could leave this season, Lamens has impressed enough to be given the chance to be both sides' number 1. That decision is paid off so far. That has been very interesting. And Man United are definitely interested in this young starlet, guys, I have to say. And he's been brilliant so far this season. And let's see if he can carry that form through to the end of this season, where United certainly, I think, in the summer will be making an approach. Let's see how it goes, guys. Big up to those of you joining. And thank you for smashing the likes. And thank you for being here. Now let's move on to another, I would say, a brilliant decision by Man United. And it's not to weigh up a move for Bayern Munich defender Alphonso Davies. It's much to my joy and satisfaction that Manchester United will not be involved in getting into a deal with this player after we have already done deals for De Ligt and Mazraoui from the Bavarian club. Alphonso Davies is one of the Bayern players attracting interest from around Europe right now. But with the system Ruben Amorim plays, Man United has been decided that Davies is not quite what they're looking for. And I think it's largely due to the cost. He's requesting a mammoth 20 million euros a season for his services. And I think Man United have seen enough, heard enough, and are going to stay clear of him and look elsewhere for services in January. So, while he has still yet to make his final decision for his contract with Bayern Munich, and it has said to be progressing along swimmingly, well, he will make the decision this window, but it's definitely not going to be a decision that brings him to Manchester United. So, thankfully, the higher-ups decided that that is too costly a move for Manchester United. No player, especially not a defender, should be being paid 20 million euros a season. That's just crazy. Anyway, moving on to somewhat other information, Man United could see a boost in profit if Bayern Munich goes in and purchases young Alvaro Fernandez from Benfica for £30.7 million. United will stand to receive somewhere in the region of £10 million for his sale, and it would be very interesting. As you know, it will be positive on the FFP. But as you know, guys, Manchester United are also interested in re-signing the youngster, which will come at a measly cost of 16.5 million euros. If the Red Devils are going to sign this player, it's probably going to happen in the next coming days, as there are lots of reports of interest coming in from various clubs and not just Bayern Munich for the young talent. Of course, you know, the Bavarian club has also reached an impasse with their defender, who I was just talking about, Alphonso Davies. So maybe they're looking at the likes of young Alvaro as a backup option to have in case things go left. Of course, AC Milan's Theo Hernandez was at the top of their list to replace Davies. However, yeah, he's not doing that. You know what I mean? So Bayern Munich are going to be looking long in this transfer window to replace or to add to their team. And of course, we have the buyback clause with Alvaro Carreras Fernandez, and we would probably be looking to do that, as we are also in the market for a left back this summer. So it's going to be one of those things. You know, Miguel Gutierrez has been linked with Manchester United. The Spaniard has been one of the best fullbacks in La Liga over the last 18 months. He's also likely to be on the move when the transfer window opens at the end of the season, if not in January. As you know, he has already placed a transfer request with his club. Big up for that, guys. Moving on to some other interesting information, guys. This might excite some people, because apparently Juventus is in for Tyrell Malacia. Would you like to see this move happen, guys? For me, I'm not too sure. I think I would like to see him develop at Man United. Of course, you know, the young left back came for only 12.5 million euros, and we were hoping to develop him to a better player, but he spent the better part of 14 months out injured. So it's questionable if he's back to that level just yet. Maybe he isn't, maybe he is not. That's left to be seen. But what we do know is that Juventus is eyeing Malacia as a key defensive reinforcement in the January window and has emerged as a top target for Juventus, according to Jeremy Cross. And the Dutch international recently returned to action after an extended spell on the sidelines could be on the move as Italian giants look to bolster their defensive options. Juventus see Malacia as an ideal candidate to replace Danilo, who's expected to be bought at the end of the season. The Turin-based club's struggles during the first half of the Serie A campaign have forced them to explore key signings, and Malacia's versatility could offer the defensive stability that they need. Of course, you know, he only came to United for that small fee. So if we could get 20 to 25 million euros, we would have made a profit on the player, which would work well for FFP. You know, and I just mentioned Miguel Gutierrez, who is 22 and would cost us no more than 20 million to 25 million euros. So we can use this signing or this sale to pay for that signing, who I would think, and everyone I'm sure would agree with me, would definitely improve our left side, as Miguel Gutierrez can certainly play that left wing back role as he has been doing it at Girona for the last 18 months. So it's going to be interesting. Since his return, Malacia has featured in 5 games this season, including a Premier League start against Arsenal in December. However, with Luke Shaw and Diego Dallo occupying the wing-back roles, his opportunity has been limited. Speaking of Luke Shaw, Napoli is very interested in signing the player. They see him as a versatile option for their defensive core, bolstering, and Antonio Conte is bent on making an approach for the player in January. Let's see what goes if Man United will be willing to open talks, not just for Malacia, but also for Luke Shaw. Let's see how it goes, guys. Now, on to some interesting news, and this is about a possible incoming a major boost for Manchester United in their pursuit of the Premier League ace following a key development. Recently this week, United were reportedly in for young Julio Sola from Lanús, the young Argentine international, and there has been reports that a gentleman's agreement between them and Bournemouth as they backed off of the signing. And now Bournemouth, in pole position to sign the youngster, is according on the verge of a 12 million deal for the 19-year-old, and he's probably agreeing a 4-year contract with the Cherries. Let's just say this gives Man United a little bit of confidence in making an approach for Milos Kerkez. Now, Soler, who has 50 appearances in his young career, has attracted the attention with his raw talent and potential at the left back. His arrival at Bournemouth could pave the way for Kerkez's departure to Manchester United. The report claims that the move for defender as an interest in Kerkez intensifies from the likes of Manchester United. The manager, Ruben Amorim, is keen to address the club left-back issues, with Luke Shaw sidelined by injury and Tyrell Malacia only recently returning from a long-term layoff. Diego Dallo has filled in at the left-back in their absence and has done a decent job. However, he is more comfortable in his natural position on the right side. Kerkez is seen as a top target for Amorim, with the player impressing with his performances this season. Man United will be facing stiff competition with Liverpool for this player, who's also interested in the young player to watch. Very interesting talent, very physical, very robust, very good on the ball, and definitely quality. I would love to see him come to Manchester United, to be honest. The prices might be a steep one, as there are some reports that, Bournemouth will be expecting no less than 40 to 55 million pounds in offer for their key left back player. That's an interesting development, guys. Let me know what you think in the comments. Please, your comments are pivotal. It also helps the channel grow. And I implore you guys, please leave lots of comments and criticisms. Let your boy know. I will certainly be replying to them each and every time. Now, interesting news as Milik leaves Juventus. Even more desperate now for Joshua Zirkzee deal with Manchester United. And what could this be, guys? What could this be? It's just that news is coming out that Manchester United, of course, Joshua Zirkzee has been stages of rumor with a lot of different teams recently, especially based in Italy. Atalanta was one, and now it looks like Juventus are joining the race for Joshua Zirkzee. Could it be that Joshua Zirkzee will be moving to Juventus, guys? Because it's very interesting. Now, could this report have anything to do with this exclusive that bombed out a few moments ago? And this says exclusive. Man United star tells agents to explore transfer options following a major development. Now, is that major development the fact that Arkadiusz Milik has suffered a new setback in its recovery from injury? Multiple outlets in Italy are reporting that Juventus are now more keen than ever to get the deal done with Manchester United for former Bologna striker Joshua Zirkzee. Milik has suffered a new issue with his calf, and which is expected to delay his return from injury. He has not featured this Polish international since the 2024 season has begun, which has left Dusan Vlahovic as the only established centre forward in the squad. Now, could this be the reason why Joshua Zirkzee has now become a very, very important target for the Bianconeri after several months? The Dutchman enjoyed the most production season of his career under current Juventus coach Thiago Motta at Bologna last term. Zirkzee has struggled to have afterlife in the Premier League following his €42 million move to Old Trafford this summer, and was recently booed off the pitch just after 33 minutes of an eventual Premier League loss to Sandro Tonali's Newcastle. Now, interestingly enough, Joshua Zirkzee was cheered when he came for his warm-up today. And even when he featured, he was clapped in his performance. So, he might have had a tough time, and it may be a tough time, but I think the young starlet needs to fight through it. He needs to work through the adversity. But I think Juventus are very keen on adding him to their ranks, and they might be just trying to pull a deal off within just 6 months into his United career, which is not without its difficulty. Now, there have been some reports that United might be willing to accept somewhere in the region of €50 million for the player. Let's see how it goes. Of course, Juventus will have to be very creative in their deal. We'll see what happens, and I will keep you updated later on in the live call-in show. Big up to everyone joining, and thank you. And please, don't forget, smash the likes, guys. So let's get a little bit in as we talk about Joshua Zirkzee, and there are reports that he has asked his entourage to explore the possible move back to the Serie A after the desperation of Juventus losing their second striker and not having the best start to his season. Now, there's a lot to be going on, but like we talked about it, hopefully this is not the case. And if he is to part ways, well, then you know what, guys? Maybe it is what it is. And I'll have to say it like that. But into a key part of the transfer talks right now, and it's Marcus Rashford, as AC Milan has come roaring in with an option as they sent an offer for a loan deal with an option to buy. Manchester United explore Rashford loan move to AC Milan as he could be heading through the exit door, with Milan merging as the most possible destination, according to Relevo Sport. United have offered the 27-year-old forward to the Italian Giants, with discussions recently taking place between two clubs. It's been a challenging season for Rashford, who was falling out of favour under Ruben Amorim. The forward has openly admitted that he's ready for a new challenge, and United is willing to contribute towards his wages, a move seeming increasingly likely to be possible. Of course, Rashford's potential role at Milan, a move could offer Rashford a fresh start, The Rossoneri has struggled with injuries in their attacking line, particularly to key players like Rafael Leao and Christian Pulisic. Pulisic leads Milan scoring charts with 9 goals, but their main striker, Alvaro Morata, has only managed 5. Rashford's pace and his direct style could add a new dimension to Milan's attack, particularly if Leao continues to face fitness issues. However, Rashford would need to adapt to the Serie A quickly. At Milan, he would likely operate as a left-sided forward, but with Leao fully fit, he might have to settle for a rotation role. This raises questions about whether Milan would prioritize Rashford over other targets like the unsettled striker Joshua Zirkzee. Now it's going to be interesting, but the United's willingness to facilitate Rashford's exit makes it all the more pivotal that this might be a move that's actually going to happen and maybe the first move outside of the club in this January window. Manchester United are reportedly willing to loan out Rashford if the deal includes an option to buy. Given Rashford's substantial wages, United would need to cover a portion of his salary to make the move feasible for Milan. It's going to be very interesting, but I hope we do a deal for this because this is going to help us greatly. And Milan would also profit from gaining Rashford. I think he'll offer that directness and a little bit of pace that they are lacking in their lineup. And who knows, maybe he could be playing off the right and not just the left when Leao is there. It's going to be interesting. Let's see how it goes. Maybe it might offer a different change, a breath of fresh air for the 27-year-old as well, after failing, to hit the ground running since the first season of Erik ten Hag. It's been 18 months since we see a good performance from Rashford, to be honest. Anyway, moving on to the headline story of today. And guys, this is the most interesting situation right now as OSIHMEN is on the radar. And the reports are Victor OSIHMEN is determined to join Manchester United in January, with Galatasaray set to earn compensation for the move. Now, let's talk about this, guys, because you know what? It's quite interesting. It's quite interesting. And let's go right on to this part, guys, because, talks on the way for 75 million euro striker determined to complete Manchester United transfer. Guys, what about Victor OSIHMEN? You know what I mean? Amorim's biggest concern at the moment must be United's lack of goals, with the Red Devils failing to score in their last 3 Premier League games. The Red Devils have lost 6 in 11 in all competitions since the Portuguese took charge, with the strikers hardly threatening in the opposition. Of course, we did have the 2-2 win tonight. 2-2 draw, I should say. My bad. The draw. We should have won. Of course, I would say this now. The ref was the 12th man. He helped Liverpool to score. He helped Salah with the penalty. And he ignored Man United's penalty for 2 minutes prior. I would say that. But moving on. You know what I mean? United need reinforcement up front, and I would say we definitely need a senior striker, a more finished article that Højlund will have all the pressure in the world to deliver. That way he could come in as a substitute, put in a shift until he can take over. You know what I mean? Victor Gyökeres for me would have been ideal incoming, but Amorim has promised his former employers that he would not sign anyone from Sporting Lisbon in the winter, and he's intent on keeping his word, apparently. Of course, Man United might change their mind. They might not keep their word. You know how it goes. However, OSIHMEN is willing to jump ship, and Galatasaray has little power to stop this move from happening, with Napoli willing to pay 10 million as compensation for breaking the terms of the agreement held earlier. OSIHMEN, who joined Galatasaray on loan deal in September 2024, could see his situation reassessed in January, as a report suggests Galatasaray could receive around 10 million euros as compensation if the loan agreement is terminated early. OSIHMEN is very keen to join Manchester United, as the report makes it clear that he is willing to do whatever it takes to make the move. Napoli have believed to insert a 90 million release clause in OSIHMEN's contract, with 10 million of that earmarked for Galatasaray. However, there are rumors that the clause could drop to 75 million to facilitate the transfer. Will you take Victor OSIHMEN for 75 million euros, guys? That's roughly around 62 million pounds. I don't know. The Nigerian striker is currently on loan at Galatasaray in Turkey, where he has 13 goals and 5 assists in 14 starts with the Turkish Giants. Yeah, and he's only 26 years old. I guess I still don't like the player, but if that's the option that we have, I'm not going to be mad at it. I'm being honest. You know what I mean? And, for Victor Osimhen and Manchester United, it would be interesting. I just think that 75 million would rule us out of making any more possible signings unless we have recovered or sold that very same amount in players from Man United in January, which I'm not too sure we might do. So that's the interesting part. And guys, to round up the show, I have some little bits of news. Nico Williams and Marcus Rashford double Barcelona transfer update provided. Yeah, weird information. I would say this is the Fabrication Romano segment at the end of the stream. But, there's some news coming in. Football insider Mateo Moretto as he surrounds two players, Nico Williams and Marcus Rashford. The names of wingers Nico and Rashford have, of course, long proven prominent ones in Catalonia's capital. The former was the subject of a failed transfer attempt this summer, and the England international is having since emerged an alternative option, an incoming departure from Manchester United. The blogger round of persuasion will in turn no doubt be interesting to hear fresh clarity on the potential arrival of both players this weekend being provided. As per Relevo Mateo Moretto, Barcelona for the attack always in June are continuing to keep an eye on Nico Williams. Turning attention towards Rashford, on the other hand, is assured Barca can be all but ruled out a potential landing spot. Big up, and thank you to everyone joining me. You know what it is, guys. The latest in Manchester United news and transfers. You can get it here as an all-inclusive, one-stop shop for Manchester United fan trivia channel, news updates, reactions, match previews, match watch-alongs, and of course, I would say I'm one of the biggest talk shitters in the football space. So come on, have a laugh with your Trini brethren, Mark N. You know what it is. Big up to all of you. Thank you so much for joining, and I hope you have a wonderful morning and a start to your day. And I'm pleasure to give you this report. Big up everyone and have a good one.
Baby.